Alright, and we're back. Under the Iron Cloud. And that's the last time we're ever going to see the Harpy. So... Thought so. I just love that. Anyways. Yeah, so the Harpy is introduced in this level. They really don't show up in the game hardly at all. I think they just made up for it in the Jewel of the Nile, because in Jewel of the Nile there's like 1,000 of them. Okay, maybe not 1,000, but you know what I'm trying to say. Most of the enemy composition is pretty much just them. So, they also have a new mechanic in that they spawn in like certain areas and they actually watch the player. It is pretty cool. I think they added a melee kill for them in Serious Sam 4, which I could be 100% wrong. I don't even remember if they're in that. No, they are. They're in the game. They show up so infrequently that it's just... I can't even remember. But the best weapon to kill them with is going to, you know, be preferably your assault rifle. If they get close, you can use the sledgehammer, or you can use the, you know, coach gun. Whatever floats your boat, right? So... they're really not ever a threat. Honestly, I don't think I've ever had any issue with them. Their projectiles move so slowly that it's just... I don't know. They also move around a lot, I noticed, when you hit them with the assault rifle. They tend to just drop like that. So, just use the assault rifle on them. It's just much safer. They're really not much of a threat at all. I believe this is the level we get our double shotgun as well. Which, oh boy, oh boy. There's something just super satisfying about it in this game. I love how they made it sound. They made it sound beefy. And it just, oh, feels good. So I think that's the last... oh shit. Oh, what am I doing? I actually have the rocket launcher now. So I think it takes 5 rockets to kill a biomech or a... Reptiloid, or... Actually, I don't think Reptiloids are even in this game. They're only in Jewel of the Nile. They're really not much of a pain in the ass, either. They're just... they're the Reptiloids you know and love and hate that have been around since the dawn of time. So, not much has really changed. Alright. So now we can actually make use of the rocket pickups, which is pretty cool. I think this is a pretty easy level from memory. I don't think it's that bad. But like you can see, Jesus, like you can see, the assault rifle is pretty much just a go-to weapon. Oh, and yeah, we also get C4, I completely forgot about that. So the C4 is actually pretty good. As a matter of fact, I do. So the C4 is a pretty damn useful weapon. I'll show off what it can do in a second. Awesome. So I think... oh, it's different in this one. I think it's actually a different... oh, that's not what I want. It's pretty much like a grenade. You can use it on biomechs, I think, to kill them instantly if they get close enough. And, yeah. So here's this shotgun in this one. Oh, just... boom. Oh, it feels good. It really does. I'm not a gun person, but damn, that feels good. So, yeah, basically the C4... I have to sneeze, 1 second. Lord, that one just crept up on me. So, yeah, like, it's a fantastic weapon. Also, this is a new enemy in the game. These are little, Scorp buddies, as they're called in, Serious Sam 4. Arachnoids, that's what they're called. They're really not very common, and every time they show up, they're just a pain in the ass. They basically just function as, like, a distracting, annoying enemy. They can be killed with 1 rocket, but if you can't afford a rocket on them, you can always just use, like, a double barrel, or, you know, use whatever you've got handy. For me personally, I think these are the more annoying enemy because they actually have health. And you can see the blast damage on rockets is not very much. So, not a huge fan of these things. Also, you can just break their necks by walking up to them. Fucking hunk style, baby. my best advice is just to lure them out, because once they aggro, they're gonna just start wandering around towards you. And that's kind of your bread and butter way of getting rid of them. They have a very faint sound. They're also just very hard to see. You can see what I mean. They're just these little purple blob-looking things in the distance. They are relatively quick, so I would not recommend letting them get very far either. They're just pretty much annoying enemies. I think they only show up in like 2 or 3 levels, and that's about it. They're not very common, which is probably for the better, honestly. I have never gotten this... I've never gotten a cannon on this level. Oh, come on, I want this. Gimme! Yeah, it doesn't matter. You don't even get the cannon until way later in the game anyways. Also, I think the cannon gun pretty much feels and controls virtually identical to the other games as well. Oh, you gotta be shitting me. See, they spawn these in very far distanced areas, so it makes things a lot more difficult to see them in. Ugh. This isn't my favorite level design either. Here. So you could just tap one out with like left click and then right click will detonate your C4. It's a pretty... it's effective. I mean, it's very high damage, by the way, so be very careful when you're using it. You can accidentally just nuke yourself if you're not careful. Let's use the rocket for this. There we go. You'll know you get a direct hit on them because it'll make that jibbing sound, so go for it, man. Also, it's jibbing, it's not gib. Who the hell says gib? That's not even the right word. Alright, so... ooh, I didn't even plan that one, it just sort of happened. I will say this, I don't use the rocket launcher nearly as much as I should. I think this game just sort of spoils you a little bit. I mean, it also gives you the Devastator, which is just fucking fantastic. It's one of the best weapons in the entire series ever. And they actually nerfed it in Serious Sam 4, it was so damn good. Which is such a shame, man. It was so much fun. Why can't you guys let me have fun? So in this game, the, what's it called? The Devastator is actually a borderline hit scan weapon. I don't know why I think I had to reload the sledgehammer. I can't tell you why either. And you know what's weird? I actually like reloading all my weapons. I enjoy having to manage a large arsenal of weapons and then have to reload them to make sure they're all up and ready. I like that. It's just time management and... I don't know. I enjoy it a lot. It's a very small thing I actually enjoy in this game. Most games in general that have it, I actually like it too. Alright, so you can also see... you can use pretty much anything on reptiloid miners, but you can also just walk up and break their neck. It just depends on what you have to do. I will say if you're close enough, go for a neck break. It's just much better. And you're probably like, Seth, why aren't you advancing? I don't want these things behind me. I really don't. They just chip away your health so quickly, and they're just so fucking annoying. You want to make sure you get rid of all of them in an area before you keep moving on. And plus, you can also tell I want to make sure my health is at max at least every time I go into an area. So, oh man, Serious Sam 4 really spoiled me with the headshots. It really did. That's one thing I will say Serious Sam 4 excels at, is the gunplay. It just feels so good. It really does. It's not my favorite, but it's definitely on par with like Doom 4. Doom 4 without the perks. I think that's the best way to look at it. Okay, so this is... you see, if I was playing Serious Sam 4, I'd actually be using the fucking coach gun and just having a grand old time. Alright, so yeah, you can use C4... make sure that like little warning sign is away from you. If it's not, you're gonna instant kill yourself and it's gonna suck a lot of shit. So you'll notice I don't really use the shotgun as often because, well, personally I think you can kind of do without it in most situations in this game. At least on normal difficulty. I'm not really 100% certain about the others. So I've never played the Serious Sam series all the way through on Serious. It's like Left 4 Dead on Expert, you know? it's just so fucking frustrating that I just don't find it very fun. And, I don't know. That's, to me, something I really don't like, is serious mode fucks with the, enemy, like, it just fucks up a lot of stuff. Like, it makes the enemies do way more damage than they should, and it also tweaks their speed and their HP and everything, and I just think that's incredibly irritating. So, I don't tend to enjoy it. It's kind of like, you know, Doom 4 and 5 handled it pretty well. The enemies take the same amount of hits, they move, or their aggression is different. Like, they're more likely to do, like, a heavier attack, or a drastic attack, and you just take more damage. That's fine. I don't care. That's perfectly okay. It's when enemies move faster, they get more HP, you do less damage. I think that's where I start to take issue. I've actually been playing through the blood fresh supply thing, and it's pretty weird. I remember someone telling me this in a comment a couple of years ago on one of my old Blood GDX videos. They were like, oh yeah, the new GDX version lets you, like... Oh, where the hell is it? Oh, there he is. Barely see that. They were saying how Blood GDX let you, adjust the difficulty variables, which Serious Sam 4 also did pretty much, but it's not the same. So, like, you could actually adjust it to where, if you wanted the difficulty-specific level number of enemies, kind of like, that's why I like Ultraviolence in Doom 1 and 2, is all it is more enemies, and they react faster. So, that to me is perfectly balanced, where, like, I don't know. Blood had a huge problem. It basically made the enemies react almost within, like, milliseconds faster than Doom. So it's just fast enough to where it's actually a problem. And the other issue with that game was Blood had a ton of very fucking dangerous enemies. Like the cultists with their dynamite, they were hit-skid enemies, and they did a ton of damage, and they were just really fucking fast. So, like... Oh, I forgot that you actually get introduced to miners in this level. Huh. So, the biomechs, they function virtually identically to Serious Sam 1 and 2. Also, notice they still have the post-mortem shots. That was actually taken out in Serious Sam 4, which I think is a huge fucking bonus. So, I don't know. To me, that's always been one of my biggest turnoffs in Serious Sam, is the biomechs dying. They always are programmed to shoot rockets or lasers, whatever they do, when they die. And it's just... Oh, they do so much damage, it's so fucking irritating. I'm not saying it ruins the game, but it's always been a huge problem. Serious Sam 4 took it out, which is a huge perk in my opinion. But, you know, if you have played Serious Sam 4 and you're looking at this, you're going, wow, this is exactly what Serious Sam 4 is like. Yeah, that's a big problem. They basically just took the engine and didn't do shit to it. And that, to me, is really lazy and sucks. So, I'm not a huge fan of what they did. I mean, I understand. They had pressure at Crow Team, and Crow Team isn't a huge company. It's only like, what, a couple of hundred people. Probably even less, I'm pretty sure. So, as far as I'm concerned, I understand. I'm not an indie developer, I'm just a Doom modder, so I don't have any opinion, really. But, for the most part, you know, COVID delays were inevitable. You should honestly have been used to it, but I don't think they should have released the game in the state they did. I believe they released it on, Serious Sam 4, they released it on the, I think Xbox Game Pass for free a while back, and I was on Reddit, and I was just like, wow, everyone's like, oh wow, it's really bad, and I'm like, well, that was your mistake of buying it on a console, first of all. Why the hell would you want to play a Serious Sam game on console? These are not the kinds of games you can play with a controller easily. Everyone's like, oh, weapon wheels, and I'm like, no, that's not the same. It's not even anywhere close. Doing, like, slow down, and then picking a weapon, that's inefficient already because you're having to slow the game down to do this. Like, part of the magic of old school FPS is remembering your keyboard and what you have all your weapons bound to. Like, I know exactly what weapon is on every key by muscle memory. And if you're just playing, it's like playing any FPS game on a controller, you're just gimping yourself. I've had someone try to argue with me that it was better for Left 4 Dead, and I'm like, no. No, it's not. It's... If you're playing any FPS game on a controller, stop. Don't even try to defend it. It's not better. Just be a grown-up and play on PC. That's all I can say. Like... I don't know why you'd ever want to gimp yourself so much. You lose so many things, like patches, mods, you get like actual, like you can turn off all the god-awful effects and stuff like motion blur, stuff like that. But anyways, here's our first technical boss fight, which I kinda don't like. It's a bit random. So, alright. I don't think we have to kill these harpies, but doesn't matter. So let's go ahead and get some ammo. I'm always a huge hater of this kind of concept, the infinite ammo crates and stuff in games these days. I think it's really shitty. But I understand. I totally get it. I think Gears of War did it okay, where if in Gears of War, the ammo pickups you picked up were specific to the weapons you were using. So like if you picked up an ammo crate box, it was only for those weapons, and it didn't fully replenish all of your ammo. I think it just gave you a handful based on difficulty. I really liked Gears of War. I really did. So, alright, here we go. I think I should be okay with hitting this. No, probably not. Alright, so this fight you have to hit these lights that are glowing. Just pour damage into all these spots as much as you can. Try and, like, space your shots out is all I'm gonna say. Like, there we go. Alright, so you don't really need to use any other weapons for this fight. So, don't worry about the other enemies either. They're not a huge deal. Like I said, try and just sort of move your shots around and try and hit those lights. Alright, remember, you have infinite ammo for this fight, basically. Just try not to self-damage yourself, and you should be okay, and just pay attention to your health. Uh-oh, I am very, very low on ammo. Okay. So 3 shots is gonna have to do on that for now. Alright. I also haven't mentioned this, but the entire ammo and weapon pickup stuff is more militarized, in case you haven't noticed. Alright, let's quick swap over to that, because it's probably safer. So this thing's just gonna keep spawning dudes, and you don't really want to have to deal with, like, kamikaze units. That's a really shitty time. See, like, why would you want to do this on a controller? You'd just be giving yourself way more trouble than it's worth. Okay, you could probably just tank the exact same lights, but I don't think that's worth it. Oh, I actually killed it. Wow, I wasn't even paying attention. So, also, Serious Sam. Yeah. The dankest of internet meme references. So, yeah, that was pretty much that level. It's not too bad. I don't think it's the worst it could have been, but it's pretty easy. I'll see you in the next one.